Every year, over 30,000 people from around the world travel to the Himalaya and make the 40-mile trek up to Mount Everest Base Camp. The annual climbing season transforms the vacant glacier into a sea of tents and is called home by roughly 1,000 people.
Namaste. I'm Sherpa from Namche Bazaar, Everest region. By profession, I'm a guide. We really have a big problem here at Everest Base Camp. The number of the human waste every year, it's been increasing, and it's a big, serious problem. So I got quite interested about the project, and we've been working on this for almost 8 years now. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to implement our project, processing the human waste into gas. We could gift the future generation a clean Everest and good environment, and we welcome more and more people in Nepal.
As days turn to weeks, expedition teams acclimatize and patiently wait for their distant weather window. This creates a cycle of consumption which annually generates 26,000 pounds of human waste. The outhouse barrels are filled till they weigh upwards of 150 pounds, resulting in local porters to carry the waste 5 miles down the mountain.
Seteman Rai. His name is Seteman Rai. 6 years he has been working at Base Camp, the human waste cleaner.
My name is Dao Yangjum Sherpa. I'm born in Rolling Valley, which is west from the Everest region. I've been climbing for almost 10 years. Comparing all this 8,000 meter I think the biggest base camp I've ever seen is Everest Base Camp, and I think we have a lot of this human waste.
Do you know how much human waste is produced over these 2 months?
I don't know how much, but it seems like a lot.
So now it's about 12 or 13,000 tons.
Yeah, that's a lot of food.
My name is Lakparita Sherpa. I'm originally from Thane. I've been working here on Everest since 1984. Since 2014, I've been managing the base camp here on Everest. Everest Base Camp is getting bigger every year. It will affect to the drinking water lower in the Khumbu Valley. The idea of biogas is using all of the human waste that people produce here to making energy, and whatever is left over used as a composting system and growing vegetables and stuff like that. I think that idea is a very good idea, and hopefully one day the biogas project will be successful and they will preserve the Everest area. We Sherpa believe that Everest is holy, and it is very important for us and our future generations.
This toxic, antiquated method of dumping has been taboo to speak of and never properly addressed. But the Mount Everest Biogas Project has a solution. The prestigious UIAA Mountain Protection Award was given to the Mount Everest Biogas Project for their designing of a 100% self-sufficient human waste treatment system. The facility would be installed just below base camp at the nearby village of Gorak Shep. When constructed, it will be the world's highest altitude biogas digester. This system will biologically treat human waste while producing biofuel and fertilizer for crops. The goal is to protect the river basin of the Khumbu Glacier while benefiting the indigenous community. With your support, this sustainable project will provide economic growth and environmental protection for one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Sherpa ever. Got me to the top of Everest in 18 hours. He's awesome.
Hi, my name is Dan Mazur, and I'm a Mount Everest climber. I've led 12 successful expeditions to the summit of Mount Everest, and I'm going again in 2020 in April as the expedition leader. I love climbing Mount Everest. It's a super exciting mountain. I've had some experience in dealing with Mount Everest's problems. I've been involved in some rescues. I was involved in the rescue of Lincoln Hall and another rescue of Rick Allen. And over the years, I've seen a lot of different things happen on Mount Everest.
The ground is shaking.
What about if the ground opens up?
Oh! Oh! No!
Everything started shaking. The mountain was falling down all around us. We got a radio call from base camp, our staff, that said base camp had been wiped out, and we couldn't find our friend. And like an hour later, they found his body.
He was one of at least 18 killed at base camp. Many others were injured, but most survived.
I've also been awarded the Hillary Mountain Legacy Medal for my service to the environment and people of Mount Everest, and also for doing a lot of Mount Everest climbing and rescuing. The Mount Everest Biogas Project, which is trying to deal with the 26,000 pounds, the 12,000 kilos of human waste which are produced by the climbers in Mount Everest Base Camp each April and May. The problem is getting much worse year after year, and it's not being properly dealt with. Right now, the human waste is being carried from the toilets of each base camp, of which there might be 100 separate base camps at Everest Base Camp on the Khumbu Glacier. Though the human waste is being carried from those toilets by local porters who are paid very well for doing that, and they carry it to the side of the glacier and they dump it on the ground. It's not being treated in any way, and that human waste is leaking into the water supply. It's a terrible problem. It's a disgrace. These expeditions are well funded. The members of the expeditions have plenty of money. Many people don't really know this is a problem. Dealing with human waste is a really difficult problem. It's kind of a taboo issue. It's an untold story. It's sort of a secret subject. No one likes to talk about it. When we approached the Nepal government, many people in the Nepal government didn't even know that the human waste was not being treated. They filled up, the porters who carry the human waste off the glacier have filled up every available hole on the side of the glacier to put the waste in. Now they have to carry it a long distance for like a half a day down below the nearest village to base camp, and then they walk over a small hill next to the Everest Base Camp trekking path, and they dump it on the ground behind that hill. It's just a little way off the trail, and it's not being dealt with at all.